Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on where in the world you're watching this and indeed what time of day it is. Today, I'm just going to share with you a little bit about mindset and communication skills. Since we're all working in this virtual world, how do we best come across on camera, and how can we, get rid of those feelings of anxiety and nervousness when we speak into this little black dot called the lens. My name is Laith, and I'm speaking to you from London with Impact Skills. So let's get into it. So I can share the screen with you straight away. Tool presentation skills. Well, what are they about? Well, essentially, we're talking about a presentation, albeit in this virtual world. You're not actually presenting to people live, as it were, but you are presenting. So all the skills still apply. Your gestures, your voice, the inflection in your voice, the pauses from one sentence to the next, the eye contact, which ironically is through this tiny little lens, so you're not actually looking at eyes, but you are giving them the perception that you're looking at them. So this kind of screen that you're looking at now, where you can see, 50 odd people on a Zoom call, is something that you're probably getting very used to now, I should think. And whether it's Zoom or some kind of Citrix product or Google Hangouts or Microsoft Teams or even Skype, this is something that you're probably getting used to very, very quickly, whether it's to your colleagues in a professional sense or friends and family. So let's skip straight to the next slide. What are our greatest fears? Well, some of our greatest fears are speaking in front of others. This is research that's been considerably done over the last number of decades. And speaking in front of others always ranks in the top 2. I usually sit in #1 position. It happens to be an open-based question. So the mathematicians amongst you will see that doesn't add up to 100. However, it's an open-based question. So you could answer, you could tick more than one box. And still, speaking in front of others comes out on top. The source is a book of lists, and you can find that online. Why? When we get nervous or anxious, we're afraid of embarrassing ourselves or humiliating ourselves or making a mistake or whatever it is. And that applies online or offline, which is why it still applies even in the virtual world. So what are some things we can do about it? Go backwards. Well, the belief system, the BS system, I call it, and we'll come on to that in a minute, all starts with your potential. Your potential, top left in red, let's say your potential is from 0 to 10, and right now you're sitting at somewhere like a 5. Your boss comes up to you and says, right, I need you to do this task. It's outside your comfort zone, let's say, speaking to your team on a virtual call like this. You don't particularly want to do it. You don't believe it's going to go well. So you start to take some action towards that, going in a clockwise direction to action on the bottom. The action you take, is it going to be great or is it going to be quite low? I believe if you don't believe you're going to do this well, the action you take isn't going to be great. Is it going to give you great results or poor results? Probably mediocre, poor-ish results. Feeds back into your potential. You say to yourself, see, I knew that wasn't going to go well. It's that little voice in your head that says, I knew that wasn't going to go well, and now I know it didn't go well, and there's the proof. So going from a 0 to 10, your 5 in the middle is now probably still at a 5 or even lower because you didn't believe it was going to go well in the first place. Now let's switch that up. Your boss comes to you and says, right, could you please have a team call with your colleagues, once a day for the next 2 weeks while we're in this lockdown, and you believe it's going to go well. You plan the call, you psych yourself up, you rev yourself up, you've prepared well. Your potential hasn't changed, it's still at 5, but your belief has changed. You really think this is going to go well because one thing you have done is prepared, and preparation creates confidence. And with that confidence, it increases your belief. So you go through this meeting, your belief was high that it was going to go well anyway. So you took great action. You prepared your notes, you prepared your questions, you prepared your content. So that was much bigger action. So the chances are your results were higher. You got better results. When you got better results, you fed back into your potential. So now instead of it being a 5, it's crept up to a 6 or 7. Why? Simply because your belief system was stronger. And when your belief system is stronger, you simply do a better job. And it may not be the first or second time, it may be the fifth or sixth time. But as long as you believe it's going to go well, it will. So as I said, BS, there's two types of BS. There's one on the left, which is the brown smelly stuff because you don't believe it's going to go well, or it's the positive belief system. It's the virtuous upcycle. When you think something's going to go well, it will. Henry Ford said it years ago when he said, whether you believe you can or believe you can't, you're right. And this is the case in point. Believe that it's going to go well, and it will. In terms of what we see, it's your eyes, your hands and gestures, your stance. Now, standing, of course, it's your stance. Seated, it's your posture. I'm not leaning forward like this and mumbling and looking at the screen or the keyboard. Equally, I'm not sitting back like this, looking almost too relaxed. I'm somewhere in the middle with a nice straight back, and my posture looks alert and eager to get on with the job. What am I listening to? Can you even hear me? Is the volume there? What's the inflection like, the intonation? You know, what's the passion in the voice like? Have I got some modulation in the voice? Am I going too fast, or am I going too slow in a monotone voice? Are there any pauses in what I'm saying? And how many non-words can you pick up? Non-words typically are those kind of words which, you know, after a while will get irritating. If there's one or two, it doesn't matter. If there are continuous non-words that people start to notice, then it does get irritating. So how you look in red on the left accounts for 55%, how you sound 38%, and what you say, a tiny little 7%. Now, this is often misinterpreted and miscommunicated. What he's not saying is that the words you use are unimportant. What he's saying is the impact, the gestures, the voice, the inflection of what you do is desperately important. That is 93% of the impact of communication. And what he's stressed is that all three elements, red, blue, and yellow, must be there for the impact of communication to be effective. So beware of mismatched messages. Don't say, I'm really excited to be here. Thank you for coming on the call. And I'll be going through all the slides and we'll all be more excited at the end of it. If you're saying those words, but leaning forward, there's no energy in your body or your voice, you are not congruent, basically. What your voice is saying is clearly understandable, but your body is leaking a different message. So beware of the mismatched messages. If you're saying something, just ensure that your body is also saying that. All right. So in summary, you are not alone. Everybody worries about talking on one of these little screens, but I have to say, people are getting much, much better at it, and we're getting much more desensitized to it, and therefore simply getting used to it as part of our routine on a daily basis. Don't believe in your own BS. Remember the brown smelly stuff on the left, or the happy smiley belief on the right. Remember that people online can only see and hear you, so their perception is their reality. So be energetic, focus on the lens, use your hands to gesture and support your message, whatever that is. 93% of your impact comes from that, in fact. So how you sound and how you look, what are you doing with your gestures, your posture, really makes a difference. So remember, beware of your energy levels, your non-verbal communications, NVCs, non-verbal communications. You know, if you're looking around the room like this or looking down at your notes all the time, nobody's going to complain if you do it once or twice. But if you're doing it all the time, then the perception is that you're not looking at the person. Speak to them. You could even say, I'm just going to take some notes. Write your notes down and come back to them and say, right, so the next point we wanted to cover was, etc., etc. I hope that's helped. I'll be doing these probably 2-3 times a week just to connect with you and reinforce the learnings that we've already had face-to-face in the room when we've been on training all around the world. Wherever you are, by all means, share this. And if you've got any questions or comments, please put them in the comment box, especially if you've got questions around communication skills. Myself and the team are more than happy to help. And the more we can help others during this lockdown, the better. So take care of yourselves, be safe. I'm Laith, and I look forward to speaking to you next time. Bye for now.